The other week, it was in the negatives here in Detroit. We showed you the sad truth that in those freezing temperatures, dogs across the city are tied up in heavy chains. In some cases, they are dying. But the story doesn't stop there. Many of you wanted to know, how is this legal? It's not.
It's the stuff that hurts like hell. When you call, like, who do you call?
Nonprofit dog rescue, the Karens, showed us in January.
Both are underweight. Both are on illegal chains. This one has an injury to its front leg.
It is still happening in February.
It's sad. Look at the life of that. You get to go back and forth on a 3-foot chain.
12 months a year across the city of Detroit, there are dogs illegally chained, emaciated, neglected, and dying from starvation or freezing to death. So many of you have asked, what is going on? How is this legal?
It's a vicious cycle. And here we are, 2 weeks later, nothing's changed.
In Detroit, it is illegal to have a dog on a steel chain or any tether other than a coated steel cable. It is illegal to have a dog on a tether that is not at least 3 times the length of the dog. It is illegal to have a dog tethered for more than 3 hours per day. Yet, here we are with the Karens.
Hi, puppy.
Visiting 2 dogs, one quite pregnant, illegally chained weeks after they say they called Detroit Animal Care and Control. What do you say to that?
Can we swear?
Karens, Chantel Riznicki and Melanie Thomas tell me Detroit Animal Care and Control, or DACC, informed them that they did come out a few weeks ago and the owner took the dogs inside. But since then, the Karens have checked in to see the dogs living in the exact same conditions.
There's no reason that these follow-ups are not getting done. You can't tell me you have that many calls.
Do you feel that this is a direct example of a follow-up not happening?
Correct.
It's been 2 weeks, they're still out here.
100%.
Correct.
And this dog right here, as you can see, is pretty pregnant as well.
I took these concerns directly to Crystal Perkins, the director of Detroit's General Services, which oversees DACC.
So I'll have to investigate to see what happened.
Does the city feel they have the adequate staff to follow up on these calls?
So we do follow up. We can't go to a house every single day, as you know, right? We can only go to educate. We can go to educate. We can go out today. We can go out in 3 days, and they've made the corrections. But who's to say they didn't revert back to their old ways?
DACC released this graphic showing that in January alone, they took in 557 dogs, 60 cats. Perkins tells me they have 23 DACC officers patrolling every day. When I asked why they don't always change out the illegal chains and stuff outdoor houses like the Karens do, I was told it's because they don't often have the supplies on hand. She says their focus is education, that this treatment of animals is learned.
I believe because it's something that has been passed down from generation. This is how our family always does it. I've had dogs since I was little. We kept the dog outside. The dog has fur. We kept the dog on a chain to keep him in the yard.
According to Perkins, the first visit from DACC is an opportunity for the dog owner to correct the problem. If they don't, they'll be issued a ticket and they'll begin the court process. The goal is to keep the animals home and out of the shelter.
Has anyone ever said anything to you about this?
No.
Back on the streets with the Karens, we see education saving lives firsthand.
Small, frequent meals throughout the day, and then it'll help get that body weight back up, and then we can get you some deworming medicine.
What started as a call for 2 emaciated, illegally chained dogs
That's a big chain.
has turned into a Detroit dog owner graciously accepting help and committing to change.
Do you think that there could be more done in the city to let people know about that?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you think would be a good idea?
Telling people about how they not legal in Detroit.
Yeah.
Not to put them around their dogs' necks. But I'm learning a little bit.
It's not perfect, but it is improvement, and it keeps these Karens fighting for the little guys.
You watch in 3 weeks, we'll go back there and there'll be different dogs.
The Karens are 100% donation-based. Many of you, after our first story, were gracious and you donated to them. If that was you, your empathy is part of the help that you just watched. On the city's east side, Sarah Michaels, 7 News Detroit.